Halt, examine your palms, review your existence. You feel drained, don't you? Not bodily, spirit drained. You have followed all the proper steps. You adhered to the plan. You showed compassion when they were harsh. You offered freely when they were selfish. You remained quiet when you ought to have shouted. You convinced yourself that acting superior would ultimately reward you, that the cosmos tracks points, that if you simply offered enough of your essence, the planet would eventually return a favor. But it failed too. Actually, the reverse occurred. The more you offered, the more they seized. The more you pardoned, the more they insulted. You are not admired. You are exploited. You are not essential. You are a backup. And far below in the hushed spaces of your thoughts where you avoid gazing, you recognize precisely why you have confused feebleness for merit. Alessandro Vital, the figure history depicted as a rogue, truly held the key that could rescue you. He penned it half a millennium ago, a caution inscribed in sweat and parchment. He observed that in a realm of lions, the individual who acts the lamb doesn't reach paradise. He gets slaughtered. Right now, we will conduct an operation on your character. It will hurt. It will demand that you eliminate the aspect of yourself that craves validation. But I assure you this, by the close of this recording, you will grasp why your decency is really your biggest drawback, and you will discover how to convert it from a restraint that confines you into a tool that benefits you. But initially, you need to acknowledge that the manner you are existing is failing. You're draining away and nobody is arriving to rescue you. Let's start. This is the harsh reality about people's instincts. We do not assault what is formidable. We assault what is easy to assault. When you are persistently decent, when you are constantly compliant, constantly accessible, constantly lenient, you are not indicating merit. You are indicating vulnerability. You are emitting a signal that opportunists detect right away. You are informing the planet there is no penalty for injuring me. Consider the individuals in your circle who receive the greatest admiration. Are they the friendliest? Are they the ones who express regret for existing? No. The individuals who earn admiration are those with limits. The ones who can utter no without justification. The ones who, if violated, will cause you remorse. Vital notably stated, "A person who seeks to behave morally in all aspects inevitably faces ruin amid so many who lack morals." This isn't pessimism. It is dynamics. If you step into a lair of tigers and extend your arm, they will not grasp it. They will rip it away. And it is not because they are wicked. It is because they are starving and you turned yourself into prey. You have probably persuaded yourself that your absence of limits is evidence of your ethical excellence. You assure yourself, "I avoid retaliation because I am serene." Incorrect. You avoid retaliation because you are innocuous. And there is a vast distinction between being serene and being innocuous. An innocuous person lacks capacity for aggression, so his serenity is not a selection. It is an absence of choices. A serene person is a beast who holds his blade holstered. He could annihilate you. He opts not to. That is merit. That is strength. If you lack danger, you cannot be decent. You are merely frail. I urge you to post this declaration in the replies to mark the change has started. I am finished being innocuous. Let's discuss finance, not currency. The finance of you. The basic principle of worth is rarity. Diamonds are precious because they are scarce. Water is essential, but it is complementary because it is abundant. What occurs when you are constantly accessible? What occurs when you respond to the message in 3 moments? What occurs when you abandon your own goals to correct another's error? What occurs when your agreement is reflexive? You saturate the arena with your availability. You trigger overabundance of your own worth. When you are constantly present, others cease viewing you as a treasure. They begin viewing you as a service like flowing streams or lighting. You only recognize the lighting when it fails. While it functions, you don't appreciate the socket. You simply connect and deplete it. You have turned into the socket. Vital grasped that a ruler or any figure of influence must preserve a specific separation. Disdain, he observed, is the element most to evade. And nothing generates disdain quicker than closeness without restrictions. By being decent all the time, you have rendered your compassion inexpensive. You provide it to those who haven't deserved it. You provide it to those who belittle you. You provide it to those who offer nothing in return. And since it costs them zero to obtain your aid, they appraise your aid at precisely the cost they expended, nothing. To regain your influence, you need to create rarity. You need to retreat. You need to grow tougher to contact. You need to render your agreement costly. When you utter no, you're not being harsh. You're elevating your market value. You're instructing others that entry to your vitality is an honor, not an entitlement. And observe what transpires. The instant you retreat, the instant you cease overperforming, the instant you allow them to stumble without saving them, abruptly they will begin seeking you. They will label you altered. They will claim you are behaving oddly. Fine, let them ponder. This is the bleakest dose to accept. You think that if you rescue others, they will adore you. You think that your liberality fosters devotion. It fails to. It fosters obligation. And individuals despise obligation. When you repeatedly resolve others' issues, when you assume the rescuer role, you are not merely assisting them. You are belittling them. You are implicitly indicating I am capable and you are not. I can manage this and you cannot. Initially, they are thankful. We appreciate it so much. They claim I can't imagine what I'd manage without you. But as moments pass, that thankfulness shifts to reliance, and reliance cultivates bitterness. Nobody enjoys feeling powerless. Nobody enjoys feeling like an infant who requires a guardian to lace their boots, to safeguard their own pride. They will start to bitterness the very palm that nourishes them. They will discover defects in how you assisted. They will claim you are domineering or patronizing. They will strike you. Vital perceived this plainly in the halls of Rome. He observed emperors purchase devotion with rewards only to be deceived by the very subjects they prospered. Why? Because the recipient ultimately desires to demonstrate they don't require the patron. The sole method to demonstrate their autonomy is to ruin the individual who assisted them. If you are the solver in your household or social circle, cease. You are depriving them of their personal challenge. You are taking the insights they require to grow resilient. And you are turning yourself into the antagonist in their narrative. Genuine decency is not bearing another's load. It is permitting them to bear it even if they falter. It is honoring them sufficiently to allow them endure the results of their own choices. Cease attempting to purchase affection with subjugation. It is a medium that holds no worth in the actual realm. This is where we gaze into the reflection. You claim you are a decent individual. You claim you provide without anticipating any reciprocation. You are deceiving. We all possess what experts term hidden pacts. These are unspoken deals you have formed in your mind with others, but you never informed them of it. The pact appears like this. I will hear your issues for 3 hours, and in reciprocation, you will inquire about my day. I will stay overtime and handle your duties, and in reciprocation, you will honor me and advance me. I will forfeit my joy for you, and in reciprocation, you will never abandon me. But this is the issue. They never endorsed the pact. They aren't aware the pact exists. So when they fail to inquire about your day, or when they advance the noisy fellow who performs half the effort, or when they abandon you, you feel deceived. You feel swindled. You yell after all I accomplished for you, and they stare at you puzzled because they didn't request you to accomplish all that. You impose that on yourself. This decency is not benevolence. It is coercion. You are attempting to dictate how others behave toward you by overproviding. You are attempting to induce remorse in the planet to cherish you, and it always fails. Vital counsels us to perceive matters as they exist, not as they ought to exist. The truth is that individuals pursue their own advantages. If you provide without establishing conditions, they will accept. That is not spite. That is inevitability. Discard the hidden pacts. If you perform something, perform it because you truly desire to with no anticipation of reciprocation. If you cannot achieve that, avoid it. If you desire something, request it. If you possess a cost, state it. I can assist you with this task, but I require you to manage the customer session. I can hear for 10 minutes, but then I must return to tasks. Explicit conditions, no concealed obligations, no unspoken bitterness. This is how a calculated individual functions. This is how you cease being a casualty of your own anticipations. Vital's most renowned analogy is the bear and the wolf. The bear cannot shield itself from snares, and the wolf cannot guard itself from bears. One must thus be a wolf to detect snares and a bear to intimidate bears. Most decent individuals are neither. They are rabbits. They possess no fangs to battle, the bear, and no cleverness to spot the snare, the wolf. They merely forage unseeingly, hoping the hunter skips today. To endure and to genuinely create good in the realm, you must incorporate your darkness. This leads us to the idea of calculated harshness. It seems appalling. It seems like all you oppose. But hear attentively. Occasionally, the most compassionate act you can perform is to be harsh. If a doctor slices you apart with a blade, is he assaulting you? No, he is causing injury to preserve your existence. If he was too gentle to slice your flesh, you would perish. His harshness is calculated. It fulfills a greater goal in your existence. You must master handling the blade. Removing a harmful companion from your existence is not cruel. It is calculated harshness to safeguard your tranquility. Dismissing a worker who ruins the group's spirit is not cruel. It is calculated harshness to preserve the enterprise. Ending a relationship with someone you lack affection for is not cruel. It is calculated harshness to cease squandering their moments. The gentle individual prolongs these matters. They evade the clash. They permit the harm to expand because they refuse to be the antagonist. And in doing that, they inflict 100 times more pain. The Vitalian proceeds rapidly. If the arm is infected, sever it. Perform it neatly. Perform it swiftly. Do not hack at the joint. You must build the tolerance for brief clash to attain enduring tranquility. You must be prepared to be disliked now so you can be admired later. Culture trains you to be a rabbit because rabbits are simple to control the messages you absorbed from youth. Offer the other side. Avoid stirring trouble. Be a polite lad. Be a friendly lass. Who gains from that conditioning? Not you. Your supervisor gains. Your authorities gain. The advertisers gain. The harmful relatives gain. They require you to be obedient. They require you to be scared of declaring yourself. They exploit your own ethics against you. When you attempt to establish a limit, what do they utter? Oh, so you're superior to us now. You've transformed. I believed you were a compassionate individual. That is a snare. That is them employing your wish to be decent as a rein to drag you back into obedience. Vital penned, all observe what you seem to be. Few encounter what you truly are. He instructed that you should seem ethical. Yes, uphold the societal courtesies. Be courteous. Grin. But do not allow the facade become your identity. Beneath the grin, you must be assessing. Beneath the courtesy, you must be watching. You must master detaching from the tag of decent individual. It is a prison. If someone labels you egotistical for guarding your moments, concur with them. Yes, I am being egotistical with my moments currently. If someone labels you distant for not responding to their turmoil, gaze at them and utter nothing. Do not justify your traits to individuals who are dedicated to misinterpreting you. The instant you begin clarifying, no, I'm truly a friendly individual, you have forfeited. You have given them the authority to evaluate you. Seize the hammer from their grasp. Evaluate yourself. Let's discuss the science of decency. Vitality is limited. You arise with a specific quantity of power in the reservoir. Every exchange, every choice, every assistance, every sentimental response consumes power. The issue with the excessive decent individual is that they possess a leak in their reservoir. They dissipate vitality all over. They fret about what the clerk considers. They fret about a message they dispatched 3 days prior. They assume the sentimental load of their companion's foul temper. By 2:00 p.m., they are depleted. They are operating on vapors. And who receives the poorest variant of you? The individuals who genuinely count. You provide your finest vitality to outsiders and colleagues. And you return to your partner and offspring drained, grumpy, and empty. You lash at the individuals you cherish because you expended all your tolerance on individuals you don't even favor. Is that decent? Is that merit? No, it is oversight. You are overlooking your main responsibilities to attend auxiliary figures. To be genuinely decent, to be a foundation for your household, a guide for your society, a producer of worth, you must be mercilessly egotistical with your vitality. You must stockpile it, protect it like a serpent protects treasure. You must master the strength of the calculated no. Every occasion you utter no to something that lacks importance, you are uttering yes to something that holds it. No to the exhausting social gathering is yes to the workout. No to the assistance is yes to your endeavor. No to the turmoil is yes to your tranquility. Vital counseled the ruler to be frugal with his own funds so that he wouldn't need to plunder his people afterward. Be frugal with your vitality now so you don't plunder your dear ones of your attendance afterward. So how do we repair this? How do we cease being the casualty without turning into the rogue? We shift from naive decency to calculated decency. Naive decency is innocent. It provides because it senses it must. It possesses no limits. It is rooted in dread of dismissal, dread of clash. Calculated decency is a selection. It provides because it elects to. It possesses steel barriers. It is rooted in might. This is your fresh framework. Rely on deeds, never statements. Vital recognized that people are deceivers. Cease heeding what individuals claim they will perform. Examine what they have performed. Trends never deceive. Require them to merit it. Cease providing the elite access to ordinary-level individuals. Permit people to demonstrate their faithfulness before you offer them your openness. Utilize quietness. When someone belittles you, do not debate. Do not clarify. Quietness is a magnifier. It forces them to dwell in the unease of their own conduct. Be prepared to depart. The individual who is most prepared to depart possesses all the influence in the discussion. If you require them, they control you. If you select them, you control yourself. This journey is not simple. When you begin establishing limits, individuals will become furious. They will attempt to humiliate you back into the confines. They will inform you that you've grown conceited. Permit them. Their fury is not an indication that you are doing something incorrect. It is an indication that you are at last doing something correct. You are shattering the cycle. You are upsetting the structure that consumed you. You will experience remorse. Your prior conditioning will yell at you. Repair it. Express regret. Ease it. Do not heed. Remain in the blaze. Permit the remorse ignite. It is merely the frailty departing your form. Vital was not instructing us to be wicked. He was instructing us to be impactful. There is no honor in being a sacrifice. There is no prize for being the individual who tolerated the greatest belittlement. The cemetery is packed with friendly individuals who never pursued their own existences because they were too occupied pursuing for all others. The expense of being a decent individual by culture's standard is your dignity. It is your capability. It is your existence. That expense is excessive. You can be compassionate. You can be giving. You can be affectionate. But you must perform it from a stance of strength, not subjugation. You must be a sovereign or a ruler who bestows benefits, not a subordinate who has obligated them. The planet requires decent individuals, but it requires robust, decent individuals. It requires individuals who possess fangs but elect to grin. It requires you to awaken. So decide immediately. Are you going to persist as nourishment for the lions, or are you going to evolve into the being that the lions dread? The entrance is ajar. The restraints are released. You simply need to rise and proceed. If you are prepared to cease being exploited and begin being admired, if you are prepared to command the shadowy science of influence, join this feed. We do not handle soothing untruths here. We handle the stark, solid facts that construct dynasties. And lastly, post this declaration in the replies to cement this agreement with yourself. I am no.